Roth IRA 5-year rule explained. Hey everyone, Adam Bergman here, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. And today's Adam Talks going to explain to all of you what this 5-year Roth IRA rule is, how it works, what you need to know, and kind of uncover and gloss over all the key aspects of Roth IRA. So started all the way at the beginning, 1997, Roth IRAs were created by Senator Roth of Delaware, who basically wanted to create a different type of individual retirement account. And essentially, the way the Roth IRA works is anyone under a certain income threshold could make an after-tax IRA contribution. And the difference between a pre-tax and an after-tax is with a pre-tax IRA, you get a tax deduction for what you put in, but once you are over 59 and a half, you pull the money out, you pay tax. If you pull the money out prior to age 59 and a half, you owe a 10% penalty on top of the amount of the tax. Now, Roth IRA, essentially what Senator Roth wanted to do was to encourage more people to save. So what he decided to do is to say, okay, we're going to let you put in the same amount, $6,500 or $7,500 if you're over 50 in 2023, same based on earned income. So not interest, dividends, royalties, interest, capital gains, Social Security, disability, earned income, compensation for services, business income, W-2, 1099. And we're not going to give you a tax deduction, which will help Treasury. And that's one of the reasons the government was so behind the creation of the Roth IRA is governments don't like deductions. Why? Deductions reduce the taxable income base, which means it reduces the amount of tax the government can collect and use. So they actually don't like tax deductions. So they said, hey, let's incentivize people to save, but what we'll do is we'll give them the carrot at the end so long as they're over 59 and a half, and the Roth IRA is open 5 years. And here's that 5-year rule introduction. Everything you pull out of the Roth IRA is qualified distribution and therefore will be tax-free. Okay, so that's the 5-year rule to start with. So pre-tax IRAs do not have a 5-year rule. If you put money in a pre-tax IRA at 31 and pull it at 32, you're going to pay tax and a 10% penalty on what you pull out. If you put money into a traditional IRA at 58 and pull it out at 60, you're going to pay tax on what you pull out, but no 10% early distribution penalty. Hence, there is no 5-year lockup period. The Roth IRA has a lockup period, meaning the IRS wants you to keep that Roth IRA and allow it to mature for at least 5 years before you can pull it out and have that 59 and a half. So they didn't want people putting money into a Roth IRA at 58 and then pulling it out at 59 and a half tax-free. They thought there would be too much chicanery, too much trickery going on. So just to summarize the Roth IRA rules, Roth IRA contributions are after tax. Hence, you can pull out Roth IRA contributions the next day, irrespective of your age, tax-free, penalty-free. Example, I put in $2,000 in a Roth IRA on June 20th. I pull it out June 21st, the 2K, nothing's changed, right? So there shouldn't be a taxable event. It was an after-tax contribution. Now, if I did that to a pre-tax IRA and I'm under 59 and a half, I pay tax and a 10% penalty. Why? Because I got a $2,000 tax deduction for that contribution. In case of a Roth IRA, there'd be no tax deduction, so there's no reason to tax that income. Okay. Income limitations. For a pre-tax IRA, there's income limitations, the amount you could deduct. But for a Roth IRA, you have to, if you make more than 153K and you're single, or 228,000 married, filed jointly, you cannot do a Roth IRA. But since 2010, there's something called a backdoor Roth IRA, where you can make after-tax IRA contribution and then immediately convert it to Roth. So hence, anyone with any type of income could actually make a Roth IRA contribution. The one thing to keep in mind is if you have other pre-tax IRAs, the amount of that backdoor Roth, the after-tax amount that has been converted to Roth, there'll be a pro rata formula. So, for example, I have $5,000 in a pre-tax IRA dating back a couple of years. It's worth $5K today. I make more than 228, married, filed jointly. So I need to do a backdoor Roth IRA. Put $5,000 in an after-tax IRA, convert it to Roth. based off the pro rata formula, only 50% of that $5,000 will go Roth. The other 50% or 2,500 will go pre-tax. Why? And subject to tax. Why? Because I have 5 from before, 5 for now. 5 plus 5 is 10. I want to convert 5 out of 10. That's 50%. So 50% of the 5,000 I want to convert through a backdoor would be tax-free. 50% would be taxable. Okay, but if you have no other pre-tax IRAs out there, nothing to worry about. So that's the 5-year rule, 59.5 and 5 years. It's not or, okay? The 5-year rule does not apply to Roth contributions. It applies to the earnings. So if I put 5K into a Roth IRA in 2020, now it's worth 20K, and I want to pull it out, if I'm under 59.5, I can pull the 5K out anytime I want, tax-free, penalty-free. The 15K appreciation on that 5K, the earnings on that 5K, which is now a total of 20, that 15K would be subject to 10% penalty and tax. If I waited till I'm 59.5 and the Roth IRA was open at least 5 years, I can pull it full 20 out tax-free. So how else does the 5-year rule come into play? Conversions, okay? If you convert pre-tax to Roth, there's a 5-year win, and you're under 59.5. Okay, so I'm going to go through 2 rules. Convert under 59.5, convert after 59.5. If you do a Roth IRA conversion from pre-tax to Roth and you're under the age of 59.5, you need to wait till you're 59.5 and the Roth has been open 5 years to pull everything out tax-free. If you're over 59.5, the 5-year rule is waived, and all you need to do is, the 59.5 age is waived because you're over 59.5. You still need to wait the 5 years for the earnings, but the amount you convert can be pulled out anytime you want. So again, let me just recap that more succinctly. Under 59.5, you do a Roth conversion, you still got to wait 5 years and 59.5 to pull even the converted amount out tax-free. Yeah, it makes no sense, but those are the rules. If you're over 59.5 and you do a conversion, whatever you can convert, you can pull out immediately, but the earnings, you still have to wait 5 years. Okay, so that's the distinction. Under 59.5, do a conversion, you basically follow the old Roth IRA rules. If you're over 59.5, whatever you can convert, you can take out right away as a tax-free distribution. The earnings on the amount converted, still 5 years, because you already satisfy the 59.5. You still have to do the 5 years for the conversion. Okay, so that's the only distinction. Pre-tax conversion, you still have to do 59.5 and 5 for earnings and the amount converted. Over 59.5, whatever you can convert, you can take out right away tax-free. The earnings on that conversion, 5 years still applies. Okay, and then every time you do a conversion, there's a new 5-year window. So let's say you do a conversion at age 60, 5 years to 65. Do a conversion at 65, 5 more years to 70 on those buckets. So each conversion has its own 5-year bucket that you need to satisfy. Okay, whereas if you do a Roth IRA contribution, the 5-year clock starts ticking the minute you put a Roth IRA dollar in. So if you're 55 years old and you're thinking of doing a conversion at some point, or you're thinking of doing a Roth IRA and want to pull money out, put $1 in a Roth IRA. The 5 years starts ticking the second $1 is put in. That day you put $1 in a Roth IRA. So it's not good enough to just open the account. You actually have to put money in the account. Okay, so and that's really it. That's where the 5-year rule gets a little tricky. If you're not doing a conversion, just remember it's 59.5 in 5 years. Once you do it once, let's say you do it once for an account at IRA Financial, and now you open a Roth IRA Fidelity, you're good. You already satisfy that 5 year. The clock is going. You don't need to do it for every specific Roth IRA account. But if you do conversions, every time you do a conversion, there's a new 5-year window for that bucket. So just think of conversions like a bucket. Bucket A is 5 years, bucket B 5 years, bucket C, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the items to keep in mind. Contributions, 59.5 and 5-year applies to all Roth IRAs. Just start that clock, put $1 in a Roth IRA, no matter what your age is. If you do conversions before 59.5, pre-tax to Roth, 59.5 and 5 years. If you're over 59.5, whatever you can convert, you can take out the next minute, but you still need to wait 5 years to pull the earnings on the amount you convert. Example, you convert 100K, June 20th, 2023, you can pull it out June 21st, 2023, or June 20th, 2023, tax-free. But let's say that 100K now goes to 150. You got to wait 5 years to pull the full the 50K extra, which is the earnings on that 100 out tax-free. Okay. And each time you do a conversion, let's say in 2023, you convert 100, 2024, you convert 30. It's a new 5-year window for that next year bucket or that next bucket. You can do multiple conversions in a year, but at that point, you probably want to group them all together so the 5-year doesn't keep tolling. But that's it. That's kind of the 5-year rule. A lot of people don't understand it. It's not 59 and a half or 5 years. It's 59 and a half and 5 years. Okay. It's kind of easy for contributions because just start that clock. If you're under 55 years old, just put $1 in a Roth IRA, get that clock going. That's why I always tell young clients, just put $100 in a Roth IRA, put $1 in, whatever, get that clock going. The conversions get tricky. A lot of people don't understand. It doesn't make sense. You're like, wait, I'm over 59 and a half. Why do I have to wait 5 years? Let's just pull everything out. Unfortunately, it's kind of looked at as a new Roth IRA because you just convert it. So each conversion bucket has its own 5-year window. That's it. Roth 401ks also have separate buckets, 5 years also for Roth 401ks. Okay, so just because you can satisfy the 5-year on the Roth IRA, if you have a Roth 401k, like what I have with IRA Financial, it's still a 5-year window for the Roth 401k. But that's kind of it. I hope you guys found the podcast helpful. It's an important subject because Roth IRAs are, I think, the best legal tax shelter out there. So it's vital that people understand how this 59 and a half and 5-year rule works, not just for contributions, but conversions. A lot of the Roth IRA wealth happens by way of conversions because that's how you get pre-tax to Roth, right? Let's say you have a potential huge windfall investment. You only have a pre-tax IRA or pre-tax 401k. You convert it to Roth at a low value, watch it grow tax-free, but you have to understand how that 5-year window plays because that's going to limit your ability to get a hold of those funds in a tax-free manner, which ultimately is what the goal is, to use these funds tax-free. So thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget to check this podcast out every week. If you miss it, don't worry. You can pick up the pod anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, wherever. You can also watch on our YouTube channel, IRA Financial, which I'm super proud of. It's a great channel with tons of great content that's updated several times a week. So you're going to get a couple videos, 3 podcasts. If you're into this stuff, self-directed IRA, self-directed 401ks, Roth IRAs, whatever, anything IRA or 401k, like this is the best channel around. You're not going to find a better YouTube channel than ours. So that's the one thing I can guarantee you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and take care.